Is it 90 degrees outside while I wear a fall sweater and drink hot tea for this video? I guess that's what air conditioning is for. Hi everyone, I'm Jay and welcome. I've wanted to create this channel for a long time, so thank you for checking it out. There'll be a little bit of everything here, but mainly I'll be talking about books and taking you along on my hiking and trail running adventures. Today I'm sharing some of my favorite fall reads. And no, I'm not just talking about thrillers. I think books that the autumnal vibes will only enhance your enjoyment of the story, and books that'll enhance your enjoyment of autumn. Because this is an extensive list and it's been years since I've read some of these, I thought I'd try something a little different and just share the first sentence of the synopsis. Personally, I like to go into books not reading the whole synopsis since it often gives too much away. So I am keeping it to that first sentence, and you can go forth and investigate further if you choose. Now let's get into it. Okay, so I have my stack of books here. I do have a lot of these physically, so I'll do it in sections because I don't want to risk death by piling them all here next to me. It would be literally as tall as I am. The first two books that I want to mention are Brandon Sanderson's Skyward and Starsight. They're so good. When there is a series that I'm talking about, I will just read from the first one so I don't spoil anything. Spence's world has been under attack for decades. I feel like you guys need a little bit more. So I'll read the next sentence. Now pilots are the heroes of what's left of the human race, and becoming one has always been Spence's dream. I will say, don't let the fact that these are a young adult series dissuade you from reading it. The next book that I love for fall is honestly anything by Simone St. James, but specifically The Broken Girls. There are two timelines in this book. I'm going to read the more current timeline from 2014. As much as she's tried, journalist Fiona Sheridan cannot stop revisiting the events surrounding her elder sister's death. And then I do have another one from Simone St. James. I really do like this author a lot. She's very good at weaving in the supernatural without it feeling unbelievable. This one is The Sundown Motel. And I absolutely love this cover. I do have this book facing out on my shelves because it's just so beautiful. Something hasn't been right at the roadside, at the roadside Sundown Motel for a very long time, and Carly Kirk is about to find out why. So this next one is a shorter story inside of this book. It's a compilation. It is Kafka's The Metamorphosis, and I don't have the synopsis in this edition, so I will have to wing it here. When Gregor Samsa awakes one morning, he is horrified to find himself transformed into a gigantic insect. And really, this story was just so wonderful. I was not expecting it. I am not a huge classics reader. I really did love that story so much. Okay, so this series, A Court of Thorns and Roses, I did not read all of them in the fall. The ones that I did read in the fall were A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wings and Ruin, and A Court of Silver Flames. Yes, I read them all back to back because they were so good. I'll just read the synopsis from this one though. Like I said, I don't want to give anything away when I'm talking about books that are further along in a series. So since I have these beautiful editions that do not have the synopsis, winging it. When 19-year-old Farah kills a wolf in the woods, a terrifying creature arrives to demand retribution. That series is a big reason why fall and honestly winter just feel like such a fantasy vibe to me. One that I do not have a physical copy of, I used to, but I gave it away to a friend, is the book They Never Learn by Lane Fargo. That first sentence of the synopsis is, Scarlett Clark is an exceptional English professor, and because I feel like you need more, I'm giving you the second sentence, but she's even better at getting away with murder. Okay. This is another one that I read and went into it thinking that I probably was gonna DNF it. I probably was not even gonna finish this book. And that's Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. This book was actually so much better than I expected. And like I said, don't let the fact that Skyward is young adult dissuade you from reading it. Don't let the fact that maybe you aren't a religious person dissuade you from reading this. And this one, I'll read the first two sentences of the synopsis. California's Gold Country, 1850. A time when men sold their souls for a bag of gold and women sold their bodies for a place to sleep. Back to young adult. The Diviners by Libba Bray. Evie O'Neill has been exiled from her boring old hometown and shipped off to the bustling streets of New York City, and she is positively ecstatic. I feel like there's so much I could say about this, but it's already been said. This book's been out for a long time and it's very popular. Definitely a fall vibe. Next on my list is a Rachel Hawkins book, Reckless Girls. I pretty much read her books as they come out, but this one I did read in the fall. Okay, One Island, beautiful, wild, and strange. Moreau Island is a desolate spot in the middle of the Pacific Ocean with a mysterious history of shipwrecks, cannibalism, and even rumors of murder. Okay, two more in this pile and then I'll get the next pile. This was a really good one. So The Golden Couple by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. Wealthy Washington suburbanites Marissa and Matthew Bishop seem to have it all until Marissa is unfaithful. Sorry to shake you. Luckily, nothing has fallen and injured the cat or myself. Okay. The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. Casey Fletcher, a recently widowed actress trying to escape a streak of bad press, has retreated to the peace and quiet of her family's lake house in Vermont. That one really surprised me with how much I liked it. I tend to not love Riley Sager books. He's definitely an auto buy for me, but I was very pleasantly surprised by that one. To be continued. And I'm back with my next stack. One's over here. Okay. Terry Winling's The Woodwife. Leaving behind a glittering life as the wife of a trendy West Coast musician, Maggie Black comes to the southwestern desert to pursue her passion and her dreams. Infinity in the Palm of Her Hand, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, by Gioconda Belli. When I picked this book up, I knew it was a Adam and Eve retelling or story. It was really just so enjoyable. I highly recommend it. Prepare to enter a fascinating primitive universe that goes back to the very beginning, to the story upon which Western civilization is based. Deborah Levy's Swimming Home. As he arrives with his family at the villa in the hills above Nice, Joe sees a body in the swimming pool. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I almost get emotional even just picking this book up. It's so, so good. On a bitter cold day in the December of his junior year at Harvard, Sam Mazur exits a subway car and sees, amid the hordes of people waiting on the platform, Sadie Green. I'll keep going. He calls her name. For a moment, she pretends she hasn't heard him, but then she turns and a game begins. A legendary collaboration that will launch them to stardom. Actually tabbed that book in a couple places, which I don't normally do. I have to really, really like a book to do that. The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. Is this book kind of ridiculous? Yes, but is it super bingeable and enjoyable? Yes. Alex has all but given up on her dreams of becoming a published author when she receives a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Attend an exclusive month-long writing retreat at the estate of feminist horror writer Rosa Vallow. That's it. Hopefully I'm pronouncing names right. Assembly by Natasha Brown. This one, I'll deviate a little bit here and read like the middle paragraph of the synopsis. Actually, scratch that. I'll read the first paragraph of the synopsis because it is just kind of like short little broken up sentences. Come of age in the credit crunch. Be civil in a hostile environment. Go to college. Get an education. Start a career. Do all the right things. Buy a flat. Buy art. Buy a sort of happiness. But above all, keep your head down. Keep quiet and keep going. It's a really good one. I feel like a lot of this stack are just like huge favorites of mine. And then once I'm done with this stack, the rest I don't own physically, so I'll just chat and have them open on my computer. Full Tilt by Emma Scott and All In. Casey Dawson has always lived life on the edge, impulsively, sometimes recklessly. And now, as lead guitarist for a hot up-and-coming band, she is poised at the brink of fame and fortune. This is a book, well, a duology that does what it says. I believe it's advertised as it'll rip your heart out and then put it back together type of duology. So good. Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. Again, I'm going to deviate a little bit and instead read Gloria Steinem's blurb on this book rather than part of the synopsis. Again, this is a book that most people have heard about, if not read. If there is one thing scarier than a dystopian novel about the future, it's one written in the past that has already begun to come true. So going back to Sarah J. Maas, the Throne of Glass series. In a land without magic, an assassin is summoned to the castle. I really probably don't need to say more. Again, that one is super, super popular. The Invisible Life of Addie Larue by V.E. Schwab. I actually picked this up when it first came out and got about 80 pages into it. And it wasn't like a true DNF. It was just a DNF for now. And then picked it up a year later or more in the fall and loved it. France, 1714. In a moment of desperation, a young woman named Adeline meets a dangerous stranger and makes a terrible mistake. Okay, another series that will rip your heart out. Brightside by Kim Holden and Gus. There is another book in the series. Maybe it's a novella, but these two I read in the fall and loved so much. Kate Sedgwick's life has been anything but typical. not doing it justice, but I'm not going to read the whole synopsis, even though I want to. Okay, so let me pull up the other books real quick, give you their synopsis, first line, and then we'll be done. Not me wishing I would have just done this for all of the books, even if I had them physically. But here we go. Here's five-ish more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more that I would be remiss if I didn't mention these as good fall reads. The Last Word by Taylor Adams. Emma Carpenter lives in isolation with her golden retriever, Leica, house-sitting an old beachfront home on the rainy Washington coast. False Witness by Karen Slaughter. An ordinary life hides a devastating past, but now the past is catching up and time is running out. Just the Nicest Couple by Mary Kubica. Jake Hayes is missing. The Magicians by Lev Grossman. Quentin Coldwater is brilliant but miserable. Heartless by Elsie Silver. Working as a nanny for the world's grumpiest single dad should have been simple. I will say Heartless is my favorite book in that series. So good. The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. Sometimes the worst day of your life happens and you have to figure out how to live after it. So that's all I have for you. Just a couple little books you can pick up this fall. Honestly, any time of the year, I just particularly enjoyed them in the fall. They now make me think of the fall. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this list, this video, and we'll see what else is to come. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Bye.